Robert, let's start with retail sales. Retail sales in March increased by 0.6%, beating expectations. What do you attribute that to?
Yes, Susan, that was a good number. Good news and bad news in it. The good news comes from the headline number up 0.6, driven by an increase in unit auto sales. We know that unit auto sales jumped to a 17.5 million unit rate for the month. Very good numbers, but probably not sustainable. The less good news in that report was that non-auto retail sales were only up a couple tenths. That's nominally, so that doesn't even account for inflation. And so we've seen this malaise in non-auto retail sales over the last few months, and that's shaping up to be a fairly soft quarter for consumption spending, personal consumer spending. Which is a big part of first quarter GDP, which is one of the factors that's may contribute to a weaker than expected first quarter GDP number when that's printed at the end of this month.
Let's move on to housing starts. We also got some good numbers in that area. Can you explain, when we're talking about multifamily or single family residents, where are we seeing the growth?
Yes, Susan, that's another nuanced number because the headline numbers for starts and permits came up, but it's a really bifurcated market. Single-family construction appears to be stalled out, no real growth here in the last few months. And the same when we look at home sales, new home sales, existing home sales. This is a housing market that is definitely not leading the economy forward. We do expect to see gains this year in the single-family market, but not huge gains. Now, the multifamily market has been plateaued over the last year and a half or so, and just recently showing a little bit of momentum. Now, I don't think it's going to go up and away from here, but it's nice to see a pickup. The market got ahead of itself in many areas, got overbuilt, and then it takes some time for those overbuilt units to get absorbed, and then maybe we're seeing a correction from that. So again, not up and away on the multifamily side, but nice to see a few more starts.
We are seeing some positive news just in the last week for homes. Purchase apps were up 6.1%, and then refi apps increased 3.5% for last week. So what do you make of that?
Yes. Now, those are not seasonally adjusted numbers on the mortgage application. So we normally would expect an increase in the spring. So it's going to be very interesting to see if that's enough of an increase to get over the seasonal adjustment factors. But I think it's good news, and it's good news to see purchase apps going up, even though mortgage rates are climbing. The week-over-week change was non-existent, 4.6% according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. But generally, mortgage rates trending up this year, and that's going to be a headwind, especially for first-time buyers coming into the market. So we're keeping track of this. But right now, home sales, we're expecting gradual increases. Again, not up and away, but should be a positive year, given the very good job growth and income numbers we're expecting.
Robert, you also were reporting on inventory sales, the inventory sales and ratio, and the fact that it expanded 0.6% in February. Now, what does that mean?
Yes, Susan, there's two facets to that report. One is the headline inventories numbers. And inventories are a major lever on GDP. They can go up, they can go down in the quarter, and really swing GDP growth pretty strongly. And so it was a good inventories report, which is positive for first quarter GDP, and maybe one of the mitigating factors. We've been cautious on first quarter GDP, but here's a positive. Now, when we look at the inventory sales ratio, that can be sort of an early warning indicator for the next down cycle, and we do see that inventory sales ratio ticking up just a little bit in the last couple of months. So that's worth tracking. We're not in the danger zone yet, but we just want to make sure that if that continues to tick up, that we can be focused on that, and that would be an indicator for the next down cycle.